we find our way through it. You know, I love this country. I deeply love this party. I love you guys. And love is what families are all about. Ça fait du bien de vous voir.
It's good to see you.
Merci.
Thank you.
Merci à Brenda pour ton
Thank
introduction,
you, Brenda,
mais surtout pour tout ton travail.
for all your
Merci
work
aussi, évidemment, à
and your
Claudette
introduction.
Fernanda pour ce beau message.
And Amanda,
Toujours important
for
de
this
se rappeler de notre histoire,
great
de toutes
message.
les
We must
raisons
always
pour
remember our
lesquelles on est
history and
si
all the
chanceux
reasons
de
why
vivre
we are
ici.
so lucky to live here together in Canada. Thank you.
Before I go any further, I want to give a shout out to Madison, our candidate for yesterday's by-election in BC. And to every single Liberal who was on the ground or on the phone these past weeks to get out the vote. You all worked incredibly hard. I thank you for carrying our colors and the message out to the people of Cloverdale, Langley City. I was there on the ground, seeing all of you and seeing all of them, and it was absolutely awesome. But I was also out there at Terry Fox Secondary School celebrating the fact that a real Canadian hero is there on the $5 bill. It's great to see so many of you here tonight, especially those who came from across the country to be here with us. Especially good to see staff from constituency offices. Who here works in Constit? Now it's not that I like you more than I do Ottawa staffers. It's just I see those guys all the time. The work Constit staffers do is really the basis of everything we do here in Ottawa. You are the ones on the front lines, helping the people in your community, dealing with the hard cases day in and day out, making a direct and tangible difference in the lives of Canadians. Yeah, everyone stand up for our Constit staffers. You make sure that MPs remain their community's voices here in Ottawa and not Ottawa's voice in their communities. You are the ones who know how people feel, what people think. You listen to Canadians' concerns, and without that, without your input, the work we do here in Ottawa would be impossible. I mean, think about it. Many of those who come into the office to ask for your help are coming to tell you about what maybe is the most important thing in their lives at that moment. They put their trust in you, and every single day you are deserving of that trust. Canadians and all of us here tonight owe you a massive debt of gratitude. And by the way, I want to take this opportunity to thank someone in particular, someone who celebrated her 30th year in working in a constituency office for Lawrence McCauley, Nancy Stewart. Nancy. Let's give her a huge round of applause. Nancy, you're an inspiration to us all. Think about it, 30 years spent at the service of your community is incredible, but 30 years of making Lawrence McCauley look good, even more incredible. Even Francis can't believe it. Speaking of constituency staff, I need to give a very special shout out to people who've been there for me and, more importantly, for the people of Papineau for so long. On peut-tu, s'il vous plaît, prendre un moment pour donner une main
Can we take a
d'applaudissement
moment
à
to give
Stavroula,
a round of
Rana,
applause to
India,
Stavroula,
Alex
Rana?
et Rebecca. Merci, mon équipe.
Thank you, team.
Now, constituency staff really deserve the holiday break that's coming up shortly. But the same goes for every staffer in this room. As time goes on, I'm even more and more impressed by your professionalism, your dedication, and your hard work. When times get tough, you step up. You concentrate on the only thing that really matters, fighting like hell every single day to make life better for Canadians. Thank you to everyone in this room for everything you do. Now, our caucus members deserve praise as well, along with anybody here who works in Parle Affairs. Avec tout le niaisage en
With
chambre et les
all the
comités qui ont été
nonsense in the
transformés en
House
cirque,
and
les
committees,
conservateurs continuent de montrer qu'ils ont
the Conservatives continue to show that they have no respect for our institutions, but you continue to be there every day to defend them. Thank you very much.
In politics, there's always tough days and big challenges. But this team doesn't hold the record for the longest minority in Canadian history because we shy away from these moments. We put in the work, whether it's easy or hard. Dans les périodes difficiles, c'est pas
In
le
a
temps
hard
de
time?
baisser les bras. C'est le temps d'être ambitieux.
It's not time to
d'être
quit,
audacieux.
it's time to be
C'est comme ça
ambitious
qu'on
and
bâtit un
audacious,
Canada
and
plus
that's
fort.
how we
Et
can
c'est
build
ce
a
que tout le
stronger
monde veut.
Canada, and that's what everyone wants.
Sauf le Bloc.
Well, except for the Bloc.
Le Bloc cherche
The Bloc
la chicane.
wants to
Complètement déconnecté
argue.
des priorités des
They're
Québécois.
completely deconnected from Quebecer requirements, or priorities. Housing is a Quebec priority, and the Bloc voted against the investments for millions of apartments to be built across Quebec. Health, that too is a Quebec priority, and the Bloc voted against investment in dental care, which is also helping Canadians save hundreds of dollars. The environment is a priority for Quebecers, and the Bloc voted with Conservatives against the federal price on pollution that doesn't even apply in Quebec. You know, the Bloc says one thing to Quebecers, and then once they're in Ottawa, they do the opposite. So after, you're got to walk the talk. French is also a priority for all Francophones, and the Bloc voted against investments, record investments, to protect and promote French. And we know very well, Francophones outside Quebec, the Bloc couldn't care less. There's only one party that defends Francophones across the country. It's the Liberal Party of Canada.
All right, and I just spoke French for a solid stretch there. Stay with us, Toronto. You can look up the translation online tomorrow. Je me demande comment ils ont traduit tabarouette.
I wonder how they translated tabarouette.
As a
I
team,
said, come on.
As a country, we've gone through a lot these past years. The pandemic, inflation, so much conflict and suffering around the world, international law being trampled, the very foundations of democracy being attacked. I've been wondering, is there such a thing as precedented times? And if so, could we please have some of those? When I look at you tonight, I'm reminded of the strength of our party, of our history. We're the grits On est le rouge. We've lived and
We're the
led through
Reds.
150 years of Canadian history. We were there for Canadians through the Spanish flu, the Great Depression, 2 world wars, the Cold War. We've seen tough times before, and we pulled through. Because when we pull together, when Canadians pull together, nothing, and I mean nothing, can stop us. Over 150 years of Liberal history. In the meantime, the Conservatives have changed their names multiple times and changed their values more times than I can count. I mean, call me old-fashioned, but I remember when Conservative stood for protecting our institutions instead of trying to tear them down. I mean, just look at their current leader. His slogans are all about cutting taxes, but put an actual tax cut on the table, and he votes against it. He voted against a tax break for Canadians over these Christmas holidays. He voted to make, when he was a minister, he voted to make life harder for unions, to make it harder for workers to organize. But today, he pretends to stand with them. He voted repeatedly against the right to abortion. But now he tries to claim he's pro-choice. Let me be clear. Being pro-choice means standing up to the people who would take away that freedom, and that would mean standing up to his own party, which he won't do. Now, don't get me wrong. Believing in a woman's right to choose would be a good start for Conservatives. But as Liberals, we just don't believe in a woman's right to choose. We're ready to fight for it every single day. It has become abundantly clear that Pierre Poilievre will say anything, do anything, just to get elected. But there is one thing that hasn't changed: Conservatives' obsession with cutting programs that actually help people. It seems the only thing that Pierre Poilievre of Christmas past and Christmas present can agree on. With Pierre Poilievre's cuts, you pay the price. But Canadians know where the Liberal Party of Canada stands. We stand for an economy that is fairer, greener, and stronger. An economy that works for everyone, not just the richest few. We stand for safer communities, free from assault-style rifles designed for battlefields. We stand for a woman's right to choose. We stand for the right to be who you are and love whom you love. On se tient debout pour notre culture.
We stand up for our culture. We stand up for our official languages.
For the rights of linguistic minorities, and that means les francophones à l'extérieur du Québec.
Francophones outside Quebec.
Inside of Quebec. We stand for reconciliation. We stand against those who think they can exploit the vulnerable. We stand against hate and division. We stand with workers and the middle class. We stand with Canadians. We stand up for Canada. Merci, mes amis. Thank you so much.
Thank you, friends.
Joyeux Noël.
Merry Christmas.